ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। So namaste once again everyone.
Namaste Guru.
Namaste. So we completed the bhashyam of the fifth mantra in the last class, right? And I think we just entered the sixth mantra. And we probably just chanted the bhashyam, that is the Sangati bhashyam, introduction to the next mantra. We will once again read the beginning of today's class and then continue. All ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Yatha vidhi vishaye
यथा विधि विषये
कर्त्रादि अनेक
कर्तादि
अनेक
कारक उपसंहार
कारक
उपसंहार
द्वारेण
द्वारेण
वाक्यार्थ ज्ञान
वाक्यार्थ ज्ञान
कालात् अन्यत्र
अन्यत्र
अनुष्ठेयः
अनुष्ठेयः
अर्थः अस्ति।
अर्थः
अग्निहोत्रादिलक्षणः
अग्निहोत्रादिलक्षणः
न तथेह
न तत्तेह
परविद्या विषये
परविद्याविषये
वाक्यार्थ ज्ञान
वाक्यार्थज्ञान
समकाले एव
समकाले एव
समकाले एव तु
समकाले एव तु
पर्यवसितो भवति।
पर्यवसितो भवति।
केवल शब्द
केवल शब्द
प्रकाशितार्थ
प्रकाशितार्थ
ज्ञानमात्र
ज्ञानमात्र
निष्ठा व्यतिरिक्त
व्यतिरिक्त
अभावत्
अभावत्
तस्मादिह
तस्मादिह
पराविद्यां
पराविद्यां
सविशेषणेन
सविशेषेण
अक्षरेण
अक्षरेण
विशिनष्टि
विशिनष्टि
यत्तत् अदृश्यम्
यत्तदृश्यम्
इत्यादिना.
इत्यादिना.
Good, thank you. So while giving the Sangati to this mantra, the introduction, Bhashyakara is answering a possible doubt which can be raised by any of the students based on the Bhashyam or explanation of the previous mantra, the last mantra. Because in the last mantra, he gave a very highly technical interpretation or explanation. He said Veda Shabda Jnana, the knowledge of the words of Veda is Aparavidya, which people get in Patashala or in the chanting classes, etc. And by Paravidya, the knowledge of the subject matter of Veda, especially Vedanta, is meant. This is what explanation he gave. So, by Aparavidya, the knowledge of words of the Vedas is meant. And now, a Purva Pakshi may ask this question. He will say, okay, I accept that the knowledge of the words of Veda is Aparavidya. And also, that Veda Purva Bhaga, which is called Karma Kanda, imparts this knowledge of the words of the Vedas. I accept all that. And this portion talks about various karmas or rituals to be done and the mantras that are required to be chanted while doing those rituals, etc. But then he says one cannot do the rituals merely by learning the words. One has to learn the meaning of the words. Then only one can meaningfully perform the rituals. Because if a person does not know the meaning, he is likely to mispronounce the words and thereby, the whole endeavor will fail. Because as I told you earlier also, all the mantra chanting, all the karmas have to be done perfectly for getting the results. And therefore, if a person does not know the meaning, he invites a person knowing the meaning. And that's all we all do, isn't it? A priest, we invite to preside over the rituals and explain the methodology of performing the rituals, provide guidance, and in sometimes, explain the meaning of the mantras also. Because especially in marriages and all, I have seen many priests, they will take out some time during the rituals and explain what is meant by this, what is meant by that, and all that. Why it is important. So they will explain the meaning of the mantras so that the karta does the ritual knowing its meaning. And therefore, the Veda Purva Bhaga, Artha Jnanam is very much necessary. So Paravidya is Vedanta Artha Jnanam and Aparavidya is Karma Kanda Artha Jnanam. Knowledge of the meaning of the first portion of the Vedas. So both the cases, meaning is necessary. For example, there is a sentence in the Veda Purva Bhaga which says, one should do Agnihotra. So a person will learn the sentence, Agnihotram Juhuyat. This is Shabda Jnana. He does not know Sanskrit. He does not know what is meant by Juhuyat. So the person will mechanically repeat. And then if he understands the meaning also, then he will be able to perform that Agnihotram ritual meaningfully. So the knowledge of the meaning or knowledge gained by merely repetition of the words, repetition of the word, is not sufficient. And moreover, these mantras have got swaras. And the swaras also are meant to convey a certain meaning. All there is there in Panini Ashtadhyayi. Which swara will convey what meaning and all that. And he will learn that also. Another example we can take is, there is another sentence, Swarga Kamo Yajeta. If a person has a desire for heaven, should perform a particular ritual. So now, if he understands the meaning, he has the knowledge of the meaning of the sentence of Karma Kanda, Veda Purva Bhaga. So Veda Purva Artha Jnanam is there, then he will be able to, with this knowledge of the meaning of the first portion of the Vedas, he will be able to perform all the rituals effectively. And therefore, the Purva Pakshi's question, now we have to come to the question. He says, whether you call it Paravidya or Aparavidya, and make all that distinction and division, etc., you have made, my dear Bhashyakara, in both cases, the knowledge of the meaning of the words is necessary. Therefore, how can you make such a distinction that Aparavidya is only knowledge of the words and Paravidya is the knowledge of the meaning of the words? Both are Veda Artha Jnanam only. So my question again remains the same. On what basis is your distinction between Paravidya and Aparavidya justified? And therefore, before we go into the Bhashyam, what we have just now chanted, the Sangati Bhashyam, let us understand what Bhashyakara is conveying through that Bhashyam. Very highly technical discussion is taking place, right? So he says, as regards the question about the distinction, Veda Purva Artha Jnanam, which is Aparavidya, and Veda Anta Artha Jnanam, which is Paravidya, we give two reasons. One reason is for the distinction is Veda Purva Artha Jnanam does not give moksha. Because Veda Purva Artha is dealing with karma and upasana. Therefore, Veda Purva Artha Jnanam will give us knowledge of karma and upasana, which are in the form of prayers, offerings, and which are capable of giving only finite, limited results. It does not give moksha. And it is logical also because Veda itself says that just as the result of karma here is perishable, the result hereafter means in the next life also will be perishable. The results of karma are limited, and therefore Veda Purva Bhaga Artha Jnanam being the means for limited result, we are not calling it Paravidya. Because Paravidya is the means for moksha, which is first of all not the result of karma, and unlike karma phala, moksha is not limited. That the Veda itself says. This is the first point. So he says the distinction is justified because if you look at it from the point of view of the result of Paravidya and Aparavidya, they are distinct. Aparavidya gives you an opportunity to fulfill your artha, kama, dharma, purusharthas. Whereas Paravidya gives you moksha, the fourth purushartha. So it's the first point. The second point, which is distinguishing this Veda Purva Artha Jnanam and Veda Anta Artha Jnanam, is that even the limited result given by Karma Kanda is not given directly. Just the knowledge of the meaning, even the meaning of the Veda Purva Bhaga. You have learnt the words, you know the meaning also. That knowledge itself does not give you the result. That means by simply knowing the meaning of the Veda Purva Bhaga, I don't get the result of the subject matter of the Veda Purva Bhaga, which is karma. So even if I know the meaning of the mantras, I will have to perform the karma strictly as ordained to get the results. So Veda Purva Bhaga gives the result Anushtat eva. You have to perform the action, then you will get the result. For example, there is a ritual called Jyotishtoma Yajna, which is a very significant Vedic sacrifice aimed at spiritual rewards, including going to heaven, Swargaloka, etc. And this yajna involves specific rituals, offerings, dietary practices. It emphasizes ceremonial precision and distinct outcomes. Now one may know everything about this yajna, the meaning of the mantras, how to perform it, what are all the anushtanam details, when and how one must observe fast during performing this yajna, everything. But that knowledge itself is not going to give him any result. Unless one performs the yajna strictly as told in the Veda Purva Bhaga, one will not get the promised results. Therefore, by just knowing the mantras and the meanings, the karma phala will not be delivered. We can take another example. There's a homa called Avahanti Homa, which is done to get lot of Lakshmi wealth. So I know how it is to be done. Also the meaning of the mantras. But mere knowledge will not give me the result. I have to perform the karma, perform the homa with precision which is ordained in the Shastra. Then only Lakshmi Devi will shower all the wealth on me. And this is true of all the rituals prescribed in the Veda Purva Bhaga for gaining various results relating to Artha, Kama and Dharma pursuits. So Veda Purva Bhaga Artha Jnanam does not give the result directly. Whereas Vedanta Artha Jnanam, once you know the meaning of or the message of the Upanishads, moksha is directly delivered. You don't need to do anything about it. Once you have covered Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam successfully, then finished. You are a Mukta Purusha. So these are the two differences. One is all the contents of the karmas prescribed in the Veda Purva Bhaga, they give only limited results, which are perishable over a period of time. Means Papa and Punya. Even if you have got lot of Punya, once you get an opportunity to go to Mahakumbh and come back, that Punya is exhausted. Now you that much punya has gone out of your account. So that is one distinction. The second one is that where the Purva Bhaga Artha Jnanam does not give moksha, it gives the results indirectly through the performance of the action. So these are the 2 points for Aparavidya. And as I said, Paravidya gives the result directly in the form of moksha. And therefore, Paravidya only is moksha sadhanam. The result of Paravidya is moksha. And after gaining Paravidya Jnanam, there is nothing else to be done. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati, says the Upanishads. And therefore, there is a huge difference between Aparavidya and Paravidya, and the distinction is made by the Upanishad is justifiable. And that is what Bhashyakara is explaining in this Sangati for the 6th mantra. Now we will see the word meanings. Okay. In the first sentence, he says, Yatha vidhi vishaye kartradi aneka karaka upasamhara dwarena vakya artha jnana kalat anyatra anushtetah artha asti agnihotradi lakshanah na tatha iha paravidya vishaye. Yatha, just as. Vidhi vishaye, with regard to the subject matter of injunctions. The vidhi, the process, prescriptions or injunctions referred to in the karma kanda. Kartradi aneka karaka upasamhara dwarena. Kartradi means karta adi, karta etc. So what is etc.? Etc. stands for karma and karanam. Because for performance of any ritual, we require 3 things. What are they? The karta, the performer of the ritual should be there. The karma, the actual performance of the ritual should be there. And karanam, the accessories, like firewood and ghee and offerings, etc., also should be there. So Adipada, let's say Kartra Adi, that Adi, these 3 requirements, they are meant. They are indicated for the performance of any karma. And Aneka, he says, means numerous. Numerous karaka, numerous accessories. So many things we require, isn't it? Those who have done some homa and all that will know. So aneka karaka means numerous accessories. Upasamhara means collection. Dwarena, through. So with regards to the subject matter of the injunctions in the Veda, because of the requirement of the karta, karma and karaka for performance of any ritual through collection of numerous accessories. Because of this requirement, the next sentence he says, Vakyartha jnana kalat anyatra anushtetah artha asti agnihotradi lakshanah na tatha iha paravidya vishaye. Now distinction is drawing. Vakyartha jnana kalat anyatra. Anyatra literally means at any other time or elsewhere. Here we can take the meaning as after. So after Vakyartha Jnana Kalat, after gaining the knowledge of the meaning of the sentences, and thereby the procedure for performing the karmas, the accessories required, etc. Anushtayaha means to be done. Artha means a thing. Anushtaya artha means a thing to be done. Asti means is there. So after learning all the mantras, the words and meaning, there is a need for anushtana, need for doing the karma is there. Agnihotradi lakshana hai. Lakshana means in the form of Agnihotradi, Agnihotra, etc. In the form of Agnihotra, etc. Now this Agnihotra mantra, if you take one portion of the Agnihotra mantra, it is what called Samidadhanam, which the brahmacharis are supposed to perform. So they have to collect this firewood and things like that, have some ghee, have one homakunda, small fire they have to lit, and then they have to perform the yajna. And after that, the prasadam they have to take, and then that is how it is performed. Now, if you take Upasanam, which is a Agnihotra ritual to be practiced by Grihasthas, that Upasanam has to be performed only along with the wife. Patniya Saha. So, all these kind of requirements are there. And that is why Bhashyakara gives an example. Agnihotradi means like Agnihotra, etc. Agnihotra is the most common ritual everybody is supposed to do. Either in the form of, as I said, Samidadhanam or Upasanam, etc. There are more others also. So they all come under Agnihotra karmas. So what Bhashyakara is stating that with regard to the subject matter of the injunctions of the Veda, first of all, there is a requirement of karta, karma and karaka for performing any ritual through collection of numerous accessories. Therefore, after gaining the knowledge of the ritual, the meaning of the sentences of the Veda, and even after knowing the procedure for performance of the rituals, there is a need to actually perform the Agnihotra, etc., karmas. And these karmas are there for getting the promised results of aparavidya. But na tateha paravidya vishaye. But tata iha. A similar requirement here. Iha means here. Paravidya vishaye. With regard to the subject matter of paravidya. Na means not. We can supply asti. Na asti. It is not there. So what Bhashyakara has conveyed in this sentence is, whereas because of the Vedic injunctions relating to the subject matter of the Veda Purva Bhaga, the Karma Kanda, after gaining the knowledge of the meaning of the mantras, the procedure for performance of the ritual, collection of the necessary accessories, etc., there is a need to actually perform the ritual for getting the results. A similar requirement in relation to subject matter of Paravidya is not there. Because why? He says, Vakyartha Jnana Samakale Evatu Paryavasito Bhavati. Evatu means however, whereas. Vakyartha Jnana Samakale. At the same time of gaining the knowledge of the meaning of the sentences. Simultaneously, Paryavasitaha means resolved, finished, completed. Bhavati becomes. So here, Bhashyakara, as I explained earlier, is highlighting the most important difference between Paravidya and Aparavidya. He said that in the case of Aparavidya, after gaining knowledge of the sentence of the Karma Kanda, not only all knowledge of the words, the Shabda Jnanam, but also the meanings, the Artha Jnanam, one needs to perform the ritual also in order to get the results of karma. That is, merely gaining Shabda Jnanam, Artha Jnanam themselves is not enough. Something else is also required to be done. Whereas in the case of Paravidya, with gaining of Shabda Jnanam and Artha Jnanam, the pursuit comes to an end. Nothing more is required to be done. Because till now, you thought that, like in the case of Veda Purva Bhaga, I have to gain the knowledge of the meaning of the mantras of Upanishads. And then I have to do something practically to gain Brahman or attain Brahman. And that is what our orientation is, and that is what we have all been taught in our schools and colleges. The subject of any science subject, physics, chemistry, and all, even mathematics. And that is what is our orientation, our understanding, isn't it? First learn the theory and then practice. And that is why many people who come to Vedanta wrongly think that after Shravanam and Mananam, Nididhyasanam is the practice which will deliver moksha. So according to their misconceived understanding, Shravanam, Mananam are theory and Nididhyasanam is the practicals. This is what many people think. But with reference to the subject matter of Paravidya, knowing itself is attaining the result. Once you know the meanings, that is, once you know the words, once you know the meanings, once you understand them, once you assimilate them, once you abide in that, the whole pursuit gets over, culminated with the knowledge of Para, the knowledge of Akshara Brahman. And that itself is moksha. So remaining in the understanding that I am Brahman itself is moksha. Aham Brahmasmi, abiding in that knowledge is moksha. Nothing else is to be done. So this is the major difference between Veda Purva Bhaga Jnanam or Purvartha Jnanam and Vedanta Artha Jnanam. And that is why Veda Purvartha Jnanam comes under Aparavidya and Vedanta Artha Jnanam or Brahma Jnanam, Akshara Jnanam comes under Paravidya. And Bhashyakara says, this idea further is substantiated by the next sentence. Kevala Shabda Prakashita Artha Jnana Matra Nishta Vyatirikta Abhavat. So the essence of the sentence is, once the person has got this Paravidya, then one has to remain in that Vidya. That is it. Other than remaining in that knowledge, in that Vidya, nothing else to be done. Get the understanding, remain in that understanding. Unlike Aparavidya, where after understanding you have to do something. Their action is required to get the fulfillment of knowledge. Whereas here, know and remain in that knowing, remaining in that understanding, that alone is required. Now, all this sounds very simple, isn't it? But it is not so simple. Because for Paravidya, one has to be first qualified. One has to have a reasonable degree of sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. In the case of Aparavidya, the only qualification required is having a Upanayana. And that too, of course, and then for all these like Aupasanam and all, Grihastha karmas, one has to be married. They are the only qualifications. In fact, in that Karma Kanda, there is also a provision that if your Upanayanam is not done, means if you have not learned the Vedas, many of our cases we have done the Upanayanam but know nothing about Vedas, isn't it? And that is why in all our rituals, when we do at home and all that, even when you observe, when you do the Sankalpa, you are actually giving a power of attorney to the priest to perform that puja or that yajna on your behalf. That is, if you understand the meaning of the mantras and all, that is what is the meaning. So they don't want to take any chance. If you will say everything, all mantras wrongly, they will say, okay, they will tell the mantras, you will repeat it also. But even if you commit a mistake, it will not be very grave mistake. Because they are also chanting. First they chant, then you chant. So, for learning Paravidya, one needs to have Viveka, Vairagyam, Samadhi, Shakta, Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. Because if a person is not completely qualified, then there are chances that some distracting factors will distract the person from this understanding. And once you have reached the destination, all that you have to do is to remain in that destination. In fact, if a person has already understood and convinced that he has overcome all doubts, samshaya, through mananam, and viparyaya through nididhyasanam, and is no longer afflicted by the habitual errors, he cannot but remain in that understanding. So when that understanding is very firm and which is free from viparyaya, then it is very natural for the person to remain in the understanding and to remain in that moksha state. Because one gains knowledge in the Shravanam stage itself. Therefore, we can technically say that Vedanta Shabda Jnanam and Artha Jnanam takes place in the Shravanam stage itself. If it is not happening, that means there are some obstacles, some factors are to be taken care of. And those factors cannot be taken care of by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So, really speaking, it is not that after doing Shravanam you get complete Jnana and that you have reached the destination. You have gained some Jnanam, which Jnanam has to be fortified, protected, strengthened through the process of Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Really speaking, all three processes, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, all three are meant for delivering effective Jnanam. So what we need is effective Jnanam for moksha. So Shravanam gives the knowledge, the Jnanam, and Mananam, Nididhyasanam, they remove the possible obstacles for this Jnanam to remain there effectively. In fact, this particular topic is discussed in detail in Brahma Sutra. There, the Purva Pakshi takes one argument. You say Shravanam itself gives Vedanta Artha Jnanam, right? And you say nothing else is to be done after gaining this Jnanam for getting moksha. Then why Mananam and Nididhyasanam are required? And if they are required, it means like Aparavidya, first you have to know, then you have to do something about it. So here, By Shravanam, you are knowing Brahman, and afterwards you are applying that Brahma Jnanam in Mananam and Nididhyasanam. My Guruji in the Gurukulam used to give a very nice example. He says, like you want to make Rasagulla. And you have to make this gulla. Gulla means a round shaped dish. And you are putting in sugar syrup, which is called rasam. Then it becomes Rasagulla. Similarly, here also after Shravanam, there are still two processes involved. Journey does not end with Shravanam stage itself. All these are discussed in Brahma Sutra and not here. But I'm just giving you, all these details because you can understand from where Bhashyakara is coming. So here the Purva says, according to you, the journey does not end in Shravanam stage. So it is just like if you do Karma Vidya, in the case of Karma Vidya or Apara Vidya, you are doing the same in Brahma Vidya also. For that, Bhashyakara says it is not like that. Shravanam gives Jnanam, and if there are obstacles in that Jnanam becoming effective, those obstacles are removed by Mananam and Nididhyasana. If there are no obstacles, there is no need to go through Mananam and Nididhyasanam process. In fact, even Shravanam may not be required if you are coming with full Jnanam from your previous birth. And all that you have taken another birth is because you had to exhaust some karma phala which was there. In order to exhaust that karma phala, that might be some prabhala prarabdha. Like Bhagavan Ramana, he had to exhaust the prarabdha through a cancer disease. So he took birth, he underwent that, but because of the strength of his knowledge, effective knowledge gained from the previous birth, even though he did not undergo detailed Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam process, he attained complete moksha in this janma, this janma. Which is not the case with Karma Vidya. There one has to compulsorily perform the karma to get the result, whereas here after Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam you have to perform only if there are obstacles. So Mananam, Nididhyasanam, you cannot compare it to performance of the rituals which is prescribed in the Karma Kanda. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is not to be taken as theory and practicals. All three of them are meant for getting Dridagyanam. Dridagyanam implies Jnanam free from all obstacles, and therefore, after getting Jnanam, nothing else is to be done. Just remain in that understanding. And that is what is said here. Kevala Shabda Prakashita Arthagyana Matra Nishta Vyatirikta Abhavat. Abhavat means because of the absence. Because there is absence of Vyatirikta, anything other than what? Jnana Matra Nishta, the mere abidance in the knowledge. Since there is absence of anything else other than mere abidance in the knowledge, and which knowledge? knowledge of the artha, the meaning, which is prakashita, revealed. Revealed by what? Kevala Shabda, by the words alone. So there is nothing to be done other than mere abidance in the knowledge, which is knowledge of the meaning, which are revealed by the words alone. So this is Bhashakara's reply to the Purva Pakshi. Because of the absence of anything other than the mere abidance in the knowledge, in the jnanam, knowledge of the meaning which is revealed by the words alone, that remaining in the jnanam is called jnana nishta. And remaining in understanding or jnana nishta means what? Not losing the sight of that vision. I am limitless Brahman, which is the essential content of Vedanta. So Vedanta is for owning up my freedom. So, and for remaining in this wisdom alone is required for moksha, nothing else is required. And therefore, Bhashyakara goes on to say, Tasmat iha paravidya savisheshena aksharena vishinashti yat 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 adreshyam ityadina. Tasmat, therefore. Therefore means wherefore. Therefore means since the subject matter of Paravidya is unique. Therefore, iha means here. In this mantra, Paravidya, higher knowledge. Vishinashti means specifies. Who specifies? We have to supply the Karta, the Acharya, Angiras, is specifying Paravidya. Iha in this mantra. And how is he specifying? Aviseshena aksharena. Aksharena means imperishable. Saviseshanena means along with distinctive features. And what is that mantra where it is specified? Yat adreshyam ityadina. In this mantra starting with yat adreshyam. That is what is the Sangati Bhashyam, or what Sangati Bhashyam is all about. Therefore, since the subject matter of Paravidya is unique, here in this mantra, starting with Yat Tat Adreshyam, the Acharya Angiras is presenting Paravidya in a specific manner through the mention of the imperishable along with the distinctive features. So this is the Sangati introduction given by Bhashyakara. Now let us go to the mantra. As usual, I will read. You can repeat. Yat tat adreshyam
Yat tat adreshyam
agrahyam
agrahyam
agrahyam. Wait, I'm lost. Agrahyam agotram
agotram
avarnam
varnam
achakshusrotram
achakshushrotram
tad apanipadam
tat apanipadam
nityam vibhum
nityam vibhum
sarvagatam
sarvagatam
susukshmam
sushumam
tad avyayam
tat avyayam
yad bhutayonim
yat bhutayonim
paripashyanti dhirah.
paripashyanti dhiraah.
So I will give you the padacheda. Then if time is there, I'll give the word meaning also. Otherwise, we will continue in the next class. Okay. Padacheda. Yat tad yat tad adreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, avarnam, achakshusrotram, tad apanipadam, nityam, vibhum, sarvagatam, susukshmam, tat avyayam, yat bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Most of these words we would have heard in some context or the other, or not most means at least some of them we would have heard, isn't it? I'll give you the word meaning also. One more minute is there. Yat. Yat means which. Adreshyam. Invisible. Not available for sight perception. Agrahyam. Not available for grasping. Agotram is not a descendant of any lineage of parents. Avarnam, free from any color. Achakshusrotram, does not have eyes and ears, nor the sight faculty, nor the hearing faculty. Tat. Tat here literally means that, but here we have to understand Tat Brahman, that Brahman. Apanipadam, does not have hands and legs. Nityam, eternal, timeless. Vibhum, becoming manifold. Sarvagatam, all pervasive. Susukshmam, subtlest. Tat, that Brahman. Avyayam, indeclinable. Yat, which Brahman. Bhutayonim, cause of all living and non-living beings. Paripashyanti, seeing completely, seeing Aksharam as it is. Dhiraha, by wise people, qualified people. So very, very, very important mantra. And as I said, this mantra is discussed in Brahma Sutra also. Because Brahma Sutra is just 555 sutras covering all the Upanishads. So if this mantra has to be picked up in Brahma Sutra for discussion, that itself shows how much Veda Vyasa, who wrote the Brahma Sutra, attaches importance to this mantra. Because Brahma Sutra is the Supreme Court as far as Advaita Vedanta is concerned. So in this mantra, the Akshara Brahman is presented, and more we will see in the next class, discuss it in detail. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskar. Namaskar.
धन्यवादः.
Thank you. Hari Om. Dhanyavadaha.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Dhanyawad, Guruji. Namaste. Guruji, all along I was under the notion that Shravana, initially I was under the erroneous notion which you clarified, that Shravana Mananam and Nididhyasanam can happen simultaneously is what I was under the impression earlier. But then you had clarified, that cannot happen because Shravana Mananam has to take place for a certain length of time for the Nididhyasanam for one to do the Nididhyasanam. In today's talk, you were saying, like the Shankaracharya ji was saying and you were explaining that just the Shravanam itself can give the Jnanam, and then Mananam and Nididhyasanam has to, we need to do only if there is any obstacle.
Correct. Most of the cases, there will be obstacles, right? Well, how many cases we come across like a Ramana Maharishi or, even Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, all the others, right?
Yeah.
Who ultimately reach that stage They had to go through all these three stages of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So, what the emphasis, what Adi Shankara or Bhashyakara is saying is that there in Karma Kanda, there are two distinct portions. One is you learn everything, then you have to perform to get the right.
Yeah.
And here, the Mananam and Nididhyasanam are composite portions of the Shravanam itself, in the sense that even though there are different processes, if you have Shravanam as that's why it is said, Tattva Bodha itself is enough for giving you moksha. If you are able to completely assimilate the knowledge of what is there in Tattva Bodha, you don't need Mananam and Nididhyasanam.
Right.
So what does Nididhyasanam deliver?
Mm.
Nididhyasanam delivers your freedom from all your past orientations. I am the body, mind, sense complex. Nididhyasanam removes that. That I have got all these, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Nitidhyasanam removes that. The more you actually meditate upon what your real nature is, this mantra is a very good mantra for meditation. What you are. Aham adreshyam, agrahyam, varnam. That has to go inside. Right? It is not performance of any karma. Only understanding. And that too, after Shravanam, if you have understood all this very well, no need for no doubtless, you have got a doubtless knowledge. Shamshaya Rahita Jnanam you get through Mananam. Viparyaya Rahita Jnanam you get through Nididhyasanam. So you have already got one Jnanam which is not very pure Jnanam, which is subject to all these problems, obstacles. Through Mananam Nididhyasanam you remove it. Whereas that is not the case with Karma Kanda. Even if you have 100% know everything exactly what is to be done in Karma Kanda.
And to be done.
Isn't it? You have to perform that, then only you get the result. Here you don't need to perform anything. You by jnanam itself, you get the result moksha. That's what he's emphasizing. What happens is the initial stages, when people come with this orientation of theory, practice and all, acharyas actually don't reveal all these things right in the beginning.
Right.
They go along with that kind of orientation. When the students are mature, ripe, they say that even Aham Brahmasmi, it is not a new thing that you are acquiring, you will be told towards the final stages. You are already Brahman. What is happening through this entire Vedanta business is removal of that ignorance that you are the ignorance that you are not Brahman. So all that Vedanta does is just removing your ignorance, nothing else. That knowledge also, in fact, you will all get shocked as we go along. Shocks after shocks will be there then as compared to what you have already been told. We use the word attained, gained and all that. Nothing to be gained, nothing to be attained. You are already that. You don't know that. So remove the wheel of ignorance. You will automatically when the cloud moves away, the sun shines. Sun is always shining.
Sun is always
You
shining.
don't realize that sun is shining because of the heavy, thick, black clouds.
Yeah.
Which is removed here by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. In case there are no clouds, bright sunny morning, blue sky, no need for Mananam Nididhyasanam. That is how it is.
This shloka is somewhat like the Manobuddhi Hankara Chittani Naham.
See, that only.
Yeah.
What is Manobuddhi? Vedanta Dintima, or that what Shatakam, this Nirvana Shatakam, which Adi Shankara has composed, it's all based upon all these kind of mantras in the Upanishads only. You will find different kinds of explanation, different kinds of mantras in different Upanishads. So he, having assimilated everything, he writes 10 slokas for us to do nididhyasana. So when sitting, with closed eyes, and then you repeat that, understand the mantra of this Nirvana Shatakam or Nirvana Dashakam, then repeat that in your mind. If not in Sanskrit, repeat it even in English. That is enough, because that's what is comfortable. Understand the meaning of the mantra which is there in Sanskrit. Repeat it in your mind in English. I am not this, I am not that. I am Swayam Jyoti, self-effulgent. I am the Atma. All that is there in the Nirvana Dashakam. All that is one Nididhyasana mantra only. Nothing else.
Dhanyawad, Guruji. Thank you very much. Hari Om. Hari Pranam.
Yes, Premaji, what is your question?
Guruji, you use the word Aupasanam. What is the difference between Aupasanam and Upasana?
Upasanam is a ritual. Upasana generally means meditation. Puja and meditation. Upasanam means offering. It's a ritual meant for grihasthas, where they will light a fire. In fact, the fire would have already been lit, because that Upasanam is done on a particular fire, which is lit at the time of marriage. And we take a vow, husband and wife, that we will preserve this fire and do daily Agnihotram on this morning and evening till we are together. That is the sankalpa we take before the Agni during marriage. But then we don't know we have taken such a sankalpa. The only thing is, later on, the husband alone does this Saupasanam or Agnihotra karma, and he takes to smoking. That is the only Agnihotra karma he starts doing. Some people don't do that also. So in fact, why I am saying this joke. In fact, I attended one marriage. Then there were, two people chatting, one elderly person and another, middle-aged person. That middle-aged person had gone out somewhere and come back and sat, and I was also sitting nearby. So it seemed the two knew each other very well. So the elderly person asked this fellow, "Na Agnihotram la, have you done your Agnihotra?" So this fellow said, "Yes." Then I was wondering, what is this? I mean, we are sitting in a marriage. He is talking about Agnihotram being done by this fellow. Then later on, after I thought about it, I understood what that elderly person meant by Agnihotram. So that has now become for me a good example of what Agnihotram means in this Kali Yuga in today's time. That is the only meaning. Agnihotram means Agni at the tip of your mouth and you keep smoking. That is it. So that is the difference between Upasanam and Upasana. Upasana is, I would call it a prelude to Vedanta Shravanam Mananam. Because through Upasana, you will gain, one is your bhakti is reinforced, which is very important for Vedanta. Number two, you will also get the focus of the mind, that you are able to, keep your mind away from all other thoughts except the thought of what your subject matter of meditation is. It could be upasana on any god, any form. And that upasana, which is saguna upasana, leads to nirguna upasana when you come to nididhyasana. Nididhyasanam is nothing but nirguna upasana, meditating on nirguna Brahman. That's all. That clear?
Yes, Guruji. So I'm just going to make sure that I understood. With Shabdam and Shabdhartham, plus karmas prescribed will get you the preparation in Veda Purva. Added to it is Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Through that, you get the knowledge to become free. And then remaining in this, we remain in moksha. Once you are knowledgeable, you cannot reverse the process.
Yes. Ignorance cannot come back again.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Hariji, what is your question? Seeing you after a long time.
He is muted.
Yes, unmute yourself. No, again you are muted.
Hari Om. No,
Hari Om.
Guruji, I attend regularly.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, your attendance is you raise some question. That is how I. Well, I don't read the list of people, it's not wasting my time. So for me, all over those who are interested will attend. That's it. You attend.
A couple of days I forgot to indicate.
Log in.
Even today I forgot to indicate Hari present.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Tell me.
Even today I forgot.
Okay.
My apology.
No, that's okay. No problem. If you are, see, the purpose is not attendance. Purpose is you are attending. If you are attending, gaining something, then that purpose is served. You don't need to. All the other things are all for making sure that, okay, I have to do this, so I have to attend kind of a thing. But if you are attending, there's no problem at all. Yeah. Tell me, what's your question?
Guruji, in case of both Purva Bhaga and also Vedanta, this I don't know why they have divided that as Purva Bhaga and Vedanta when it comes to the point of Shabdartha. In both cases, Shabdartha is important.
Yes.
Knowledge, I can't get knowledge unless I do the analysis of the words, even in case of Vedanta. So why they have divided that?
From the Vedas point of view,
Yeah,
they have divided as, see, basically, let us understand, there is no division, is only an artificial division for our understanding.
true.
Veda itself doesn't distinguish between Purva Bhaga and Anta Bhaga, etc.
Yeah.
Even though Vedavyasa Maharishi has actually codified the Vedas into 4 Vedas, right?
Yeah,
But in that also, every Veda has got as a content the Purva Bhaga in the beginning and the Anta Bhaga in the end. The Upanishads are there. Every Veda has got their own Upanishads.
yeah,
So either you take individual Vedas like Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and all, that is a complete Veda in itself.
yeah,
Or you forget the distinction between Rig, Yajur and all, that take Veda as a whole.
yeah,
There also Veda means both Purva Bhaga and Anta Bhaga put together only. So why that distinction? The distinction is there because we have got 4 Purusharthas.
yeah,
And the entire Veda is meant for us to gain the 4 Purusharthas in this life.
yeah, true.
So what they have done, when the person is born and starts growing up, what are the most important things for him? Artha and Kama, lot of desires. I want to get married. I want to have children. I want a good job, right? I want wealth. I want a big bank balance. I want to leave so much money for my children. I want to do so much donations. Lot of poor people I'm seeing. I want to help them. All these things come under what? The 3 Purushartha, Artha, Kama and Dharma.
Dharmartha karma.
Dharmartha, Kama. So a bulk of the Veda, not this subject matter, is devoted to guide us how to perform all these things, learn the mantras, perform and all that kind of thing. And you can come to the 4th Purushartha only and only if you are totally satisfied with your first 3 Purusharthas. You feel, okay, I have got all that I have got in the world. Right?
Yeah.
Now let me become spiritual. Let me now look at the beyond this world, what is there. That is the mature stage of your spiritual development. So at that time, the last portion is there as Vedanta, which says that, which points out that the limitations of the previous thing which you have achieved, the limitations of the wealth you have got, limitations of the punya that you have earned, limitations of the the fame and name and etc. you have got. But what is limitless? How you can actually understand that you are limitless? That knowledge is given in the Veda Antabhaga. So it is just like, physics is a subject we study throughout school, college, university, up to PhD, we study physics, right?
Yeah.
But what physics is taught at the PhD level, research level, is it the same physics we study in school and college?
No.
Right? So ultimately, what happens? It started with this, what is that called? Newton, I think, is the first one, right? Newton, laws of motion and all, beginning school, they will teach you all this, even in little bit college. But if you are a physics graduate, that is, you have chosen physics honors or something as a main subject, you will be introduced to the Einsteinian physics, theory of relativity, etc. You will be taught. Now, if you teach theory of relativity to school and college students, they will not understand anything. For them, pratyaksham is pramanam. So what they are saying, okay, laws of motion, sun is, the earth is going around the sun. And then the three laws which are there. Then when you come to the PhD stage, even you will, reject the Einsteinian physics of theory of relativity, because there you will be going to the quantum physics area, which is the highest level right now. I mean, we don't know, because beyond quantum physics is Brahma, Brahma Jnana.
Yeah.
The quantum physics will reach that stage. Of course, some scientists who are who study and this who are students of quantum physics, they are seeing a possibility, because till now science said consciousness is a material thing. Now they have come to the understanding that consciousness is not material, but we don't know what it is. Because for them, existence of anything has to be witnessed, there has got to be some pratyaksham to that. That is their theory. Now, this consciousness which they have come, there is something like that. When they are studying these particles and vehicles and all that theory, if you go into the even the basics of quantum physics, they are confused. But they are not denying the existence of something which is beyond their understanding. And that is what they are trying to discover and understand. But they will never be able to understand, because they are applying scientific methods to understand that. It is not scientific method, it is just knowledge. So they will, maybe at some stage that will evolve, we don't know. Similarly, what Veda and Vedanta Purva Bhaga, Antabhaga does is the same thing. Vedanta is the PhD stage, quantum physics stage, in fact beyond quantum physics rather, which if you tell to the practitioners of Karma Kanda, which is 99% of the people, I can tell you, they will not understand, they will deny such a thing. All that is there. And Veda being Veda Mata, the mother knows everything about the children. So which child, what has to be given, she will give. She will not give solid food to a small, infant. Only liquid food will be given. Little grown up, some, semi-solid food. Then after further growing up, they will give some solid food and all that. So like that, Veda also develops our spirituality in stages. And that is why, even though the meaning of the entire Vedas, whenever you are practicing, everything is very important. But the difference in the result is there. And one result, where the Purva Bhaga result is temporary, limited, whereas Vedanta result is limitless. Moksha is limitlessness. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That knowledge is limitless knowledge. That is the difference. That is why this.
But Guruji, my basic fundamental question is it possible to 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 reach the Vedanta stage without going through the Purva Bhaga? Suppose tomorrow I am telling you that it is all Karma Yoga, the result is all limited. My ultimate aim is unlimited. So I am going to ignore. I don't want to get into the field of Purva Bhaga. I am directly going for Vedanta. Will it be possible?
No.
So, it
Can
is
you
important.
get admission to a PhD without even
No,
doing the
no,
masters?
no. That is my fundamental question. But
See,
when we hear about this Purva Bhaga and Vedanta, at times I get an impression that the Purva Bhaga is given less importance. But is it not?
Okay,
Is it not?
complete
Is
your
it not correct that the Purva Bhaga is as important as Vedanta Bhaga? Or at times Purva Bhaga is more important than, because for anything that I have to do, even if I don't achieve moksha, to live a dharmic life in this world, I may have to take further birth. But still, the Purva Bhaga is, to start with, it is more important than the Vedanta.
You're finished? Let me explain.
Yeah. No, have I made myself clear?
Yes, yeah, 100% clear. Very clear. Answer is also very simple.
Yeah, okay. Very fine.
See, when we are looking at Veda Purva Bhaga,
Yeah,
all the practice of that Veda Purva Bhaga
yeah,
has got a twofold result.
yeah.
One is what we already discussed. If you have learned the mantras and perform the mantras, etc., you will
Get,
be getting the three Purusharthas, correct?
yeah.
Dharma, Artha, Kama.
Yeah.
What is that called? Sakama Bhakti.
Okay.
The very same Purva Bhaga,
Uh,
if you practice
uh,
without any aim of wanting to get Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purushartha,
uh,
that is called Nishkama Bhakti.
yeah.
And that Nishkama Bhakti is what? It is Karma Yoga.
Okay.
So the way, even where the Purva Bhaga, there are stages. First
Okay.
stage, you do all Sakama Bhakti. Then when you realize the limitations of Sakama Bhakti and the results of this Sakama Bhakti,
Yeah.
you start Nishkama Bhakti, and Nishkama Bhakti is what is called Karma Yoga, and without Karma Yoga, Vedanta will be meaningless.
Yeah.
So the Karma Yoga part with the attitude Ishwararpana Bhava and Ishwara Prasada Bhava, you will develop in Purva Bhaga only. And having developed that, see, whether you have performed that karmas and all in this life or not, we do not know. Because the question is, like if you ask me, have I performed, was my Upanayanam done when I was 7 years old? Did I go to a Pathshala and study all those things? Did I study Sanskrit, which is required? Nothing I have done. Not only me, even Swamis, Dayananda Saraswati, Chinmayananda, all the other, their students and all, Except for someone like, for example, maybe Swami Paramarthananda, Swami Omkarananda, who have some Vedas Pathashala background, none other have done anything. But they have understood one thing. When they came to Vedanta, they understood, okay, whatever I have done, it has made me, my mind clear. I have attained enough chitta shuddhi to understand what Vedanta is saying, understand the message of Vedanta. And that chitta shuddhi we get
Yeah.
only when we perform karma yoga through nishkama karma anushtanam. Now, the nishkama karma anushtanam need not necessarily be what is written in the Vedas. Vedas they will give, of course, there's for especially dharma artha, you have to perform that, correct.
Yeah.
But you can actually superimpose today's circumstance. What is the thing that you have to perform for artha and kama? What is that? Go to college, get a good degree, engineering, then you get MBA, get a good job, earn a lot, get married, get children. All these are all what? Karmas which is prescribed in the Veda Purva Bhaga. So instead of doing maybe a Jyotishtoma Yagam or Avahanti Homam, etc., our Avahanti Homam is right from the we learn all these subjects and things like that and all, which eventually leads us to gain all that Artha, Kama, Dharma, Purushartha, right?
Yeah.
Now, in that process, if your attitude towards all that your studies, etc., is nishkama. What is nishkama? Means I am doing what I am supposed to do, right? Whether it is performing a yajna or studying in the college or university or whatever it is, this is what I am supposed to do. And the Vedas, from a standpoint of the Veda mantras, traditional standpoint, and from the modern standpoint, I am being assured by other people that if you do that, you will get this result. If you study all these things, you will get a MBA. You do MBA, you will get a good job, maybe an America-based or some foreign-based job, earn a lot of money. When you earn a lot of money, you will have opportunity to do lot of dharma karya and earn lot of punya. Right? All this is what we are taught. What is all that? Once you have done all that, you come to know, okay, I have enough. I have done enough punya, earned enough punya. Now my mind has become very pure because of this. Because I have now got into nishkama karma. Previously, I was doing all these things for sakama. Now I am nearing retirement age. So whatever I am doing, if I am studying Vedanta, if I am studying Sanskrit, it is not for gaining something. It is just for I am doing that karmas as a nishkama karma. That has to be done with bhakti, with, as I said, Ishwararpanam bhava and Ishwara prasada bhava. So that at some stage, if a person develops that karma yoga attitude, that is what will make him eligible for Vedanta. Otherwise, if a person is there in totally immersed in materialistic things, after retirement also he is looking for some consultancy, this, that and all, board of directors, membership. He wants that fees, board sitting fees, etc. If he is looking to making investments, making more money, when the stock market goes down 5,000 points, this fellow is totally depressed. If that is what he is going to do till his end of his life, question of Vedanta spelling also he will not get. What to talk of coming to Vedanta? So we must understand all these things not only in a broader perspective, but also from the current situation standpoint. So Veda Purva Bhaga, when we are talking about, we should actually understand it as all actions that we are taking whether in the form of yajna, homa, puja, etc., or in the form of materialist, that is our material sciences, which we are studying, etc., that is all for us the Purva Bhaga activities. Purva Bhaga means what? Before coming to the Anta, it is Purva. That's all. Now you add Veda, means it's Veda Purva Bhaga. So Samsara Purva Bhaga, you can say all that we are doing remaining in the Samsara. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, that cycle we want to remain, continue doing. But if you want to get out, you have to practice all the same thing with Karma Yoga attitude. And that is what is the eligibility criteria. Through that, you will get Chitta Shuddhi, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, and all that. Because Vairagyam, how you will develop? You have seen the world. You see that everything that I get is temporary. Today I get, I am happy. Tomorrow I lose it, I am very sad. So you see that I thought that getting all these things is what my life is all about. Now I realize that is not that. What I get I can lose also. But I want to get rid of this both happiness and sadness. When you do that, your mind is getting more and more purified. Your jealousy, your anger, and things like that, and all gets diluted to a large extent. That is what is delivers. So
Guruji,
both are important, but they've got their stages, and this happens in stages. Okay.
Guruji, you are now teaching us Vedanta. Okay. You don't expect anything from us. You don't even take Guru Dakshina, even though we have been requesting. Can I assume that you are doing Nishkama Karma, that you are now doing the Purva Bhaga of the Veda?
100%. And that has last 6 years I am teaching. I mean, not something advertisement I am doing.
No. We know it.
But
You don't.
I am telling you, the degree of Chitta Shuddhi I am achieving, year after year, I can myself know. I can myself know 5 years ago what used to irritate me, and I used to shout at people and, trying to correct everybody around me, my wife, my children, my family, etc. Today I don't bother. I accept what they are. If they don't understand what I am doing, I am quite okay with that. If they raise questions, I am very happy to answer them. That I just tell them that you have not reached the stage to understand where, the stage I have reached. So when you reach the stage, you will understand. I am not getting angry with them. I am not getting jealous about anybody. And it has delivered. Because I can now, like I monitor my blood pressure and sugar levels, I can also monitor the level of Chitta Shuddhi I am gaining. And still I am not there. That much I should know. Where occasionally that thing comes in the mind. Oh, did I lose money here? Oh, that fellow has cheated me. Should I not have allowed myself to be cheated? He told me he took some money from me and he said he will repay. He didn't repay. So occasionally that comes. But then later on, I console myself. That money belongs to him. I was only holding it, and probably when I gave it to him, even though he promised he will return, it doesn't matter. Have I become poor because I've lost that money? No. Is it because that's the last amount of money I had that I gave it to him and I have now become, destitute? No. I've got enough and enough and enough. I can give 10 more people that money and forget about it. That kind of a change in attitude has come. And why I am so convinced about this knowledge which Vedanta are teaching, it is because when I am convinced about all these things myself, then only I can convince you people, isn't it?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I cannot just talk in the air, oh, this is that. No, it's not possible. Nobody will stay after about a few classes. Oh, this fellow is a fraud. He's just advertising to earn money and, set up his own website, then invite donations. Most people are doing that only. In the name of Vedanta, that's what they are doing. And then those teachings also, they will put copyright and also nobody else can use those teachings and all. Is this the teaching that you have gained? Is this the Karma Yoga? Your the Dharma, Artha, Purushartha itself you have not overcome. It may not be the Acharyas who are doing it, but there's a coterie around every Acharya. Every Acharya has got a big support system. And those people, they are doing all these things. And since Acharya has become a Karma Yogi and Chitta Shuddhi, he doesn't control them, he doesn't want to control them. He just lets it go because that is not affecting his moksha. So there is a very deep, we have to go deeper and deeper and understand all these things from a macro standpoint.
Yeah.
That is how we have to develop our own thinking, our own, analysis of the situations. Is that?
Today I asked this question in detail because I have attended some of the classes where the master then he himself used to ridicule the Purva Bhaga.
If he ridicules anything, forget Veda Purva Bhaga.
Yeah.
If a person, a Vedanta practitioner, ridicules anything, be it an animal, an insect, then he is not following Vedanta. Everything is Jagat Karanam is Brahman. And everything is Brahman only. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, says Upanishad. What does that mean? You start ridiculing something, hating something. But a mosquito comes and you kill that mosquito. Is it? Mosquito is as much part of this entire universe, the entire creation as much as you are. If there is some giant comes and just steps on you and he does that, will you tolerate? Why should you assume that the mosquito is inviting you to kill that mosquito? There is a rat in the house. People take up all sorts of things, broom and the chappal and all that. They do hunting, rat hunting they do in their house. Okay, a rat has come. It can create problem for you. Find ways and means to dispose of that rat in a manner which is, which is the honor to the rat and honor to you also, rather. Nicely do that because it does rats. In fact, you have built a house which belongs to the rats. Now you want to throw the rats out of the house. Okay, you give them another alternative place, so that you do that. Whether it is rats, cats, or dogs, or whatever it is, you have to keep on developing this kind of an attitude. That you will develop only if you understand the reality of this entire creation. Everything, animate, non-animate things, everything in the creation is all from only one source. And everything is equally important, equally, I would say, we can revere all of them, respect each one of them rather. Nothing is superior, nothing is inferior. So even among human beings, we start seeing this. Then all their, superficial weaknesses, things like that and all, you will actually, from your point of view, rise above them. You will not only see Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, you will start saying. So that is how the ultimate culmination of Vedanta and Moksha is all about. That we have to understand. So you cannot ridicule Veda Purva Bhaga, it serves a purpose. But the only thing is the purpose which Veda Purva Bhaga gives is limited in nature. If you understand that, then to the extent of the limits of your limit, you will continue with that. After that, you will say, I will do Nishkama. I don't want, my limit is reached now. Now I will go to the limitless. That is what is the whole scheme is about. And I'm not saying it purely from Veda point of view, any pursuit in life.
I know. I understood.
If you understood that, then you are Vedantic. Then you just have to work on Mananam and Nididhyasanam to remove all the obstacles which could come up. Like I said, somebody I gave a money, that was an obstacle. Now I have to tell myself, sit, and then say, okay, I mean, I gave the money to him, he didn't return it, doesn't matter. Have I become poor because of that? No. Have my children been denied of that wealth? No. Even if they are denied, doesn't matter. They are quite capable of earning that wealth themselves. All that I have to do, tell myself. Once you are convinced that all this is fine, that animosity which you have got, that goes away from the mind. So Nididhyasanam is not just Aham Brahmasmi. To reach Aham Brahmasmi, you identify what are the obstacles, that also you keep removing. And
Okay.
that is why I said that, you can take Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam as 1, 2, 3, in terms of sequence. Or you can do all three together. As even you are doing Shravanam, getting doubts, get the doubt cleared. Once the doubt is cleared, you understand what exactly is the what exactly is the where did it go? What exactly is the import of that? Then get into Nididhyasanam, like I gave you the example. Go and sit in a corner. You shout at your wife for something. Immediately you realize, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done. For example, I will give you. See, if I had gone to this Kumbh Mela 5 years ago, I am telling you, I would have returned as a wreck, criticizing everybody, the government, the people, everybody I would have criticized. And in fact, yesterday what happened was, it was day before yesterday, we were not getting ticket from this place, Prayagraj back to Delhi, right? We had a couple of friends from Delhi also joined us. We wanted to come back to Delhi and then come to Bombay. So we booked a ticket from Lucknow to Delhi when we
Yeah.
made the arrangements. And day before yesterday morning, we had booked a taxi to go to Lucknow, which is normally 5.5 hours drive. So we thought that we will leave about 9 o'clock after breakfast. By 2 o'clock, we will reach. Our train was at 5:15. So no problem. Then the taxi fellow cancelled his trip in the morning. He said, no, I can't go. If I go, I cannot come back. So I asked, what's the matter? It is taking 12 to 13 hours to reach Lucknow. That much traffic is there. I won't come. Then we engaged another fellow. That fellow said, I'm going to the airport. I'll drop somebody. I'll come back. And then I will take you to Lucknow. On the way back itself, he called up and said, I'm unable to come. I'm stuck in a traffic jam. So the trip is cancelled. Now everybody is saying it will take 12 to 13 hours. Means what? Even start at 9 o'clock, you will reach at night 9 o'clock when what is that? When Vande Bharat would have reached Delhi. Forget about catching the train. So what we had to do, we had to cancel the train ticket, and then luckily for me, we got 4 bus tickets, sleeper coach from there to Delhi. And that was again 12-hour journey. But then no option. Now, I did not fret and fume and then start, criticizing everybody, what nonsense and all that. No, I fully appreciate the kind of challenges which are there in organizing such a, a mela for 50, 60 crore people. I mean, nobody could even imagine that such a thing would happen rather. And because of that stampede which happened, we can understand why all these restrictions in traffic, etc., they have done. And I imagine the security risk with all terrorists all around the place. This is a sitting place for them to completely destroy this whole thing. So that also is very important for the government to manage, without any incident and all. So the whole
True.
attitude changes. Whole attitude changes from one of criticism to one of appreciation. This is what Vedanta delivers. That is what it is. I can give hundreds of examples, but it's a live example.
No.
Okay. Now, Arun,
Thank
what is your question?
My question is very simple, actually. Guruji, for gaining para knowledge and Shraddha Jnana, then Swaras, all that requires deep study of Sanskrit. Is it mandatory that I have to study Sanskrit? Because I come all along with the help of the English translation of Sanskrit in so many this thing, and all the lectures I listen to are in English, though the mantras are in the thing, can I travel along the same journey for long, or I have to break and then get into Sanskrit to come to Paravidya?
No, you don't need to learn Sanskrit to come to Paravidya in today's circumstances. Once upon a time, it was important because everything was taught in Sanskrit, written in Sanskrit, taught in Sanskrit, only no other language was there. Today, English is there, Hindi is there, other languages, Tamil is there. There are acharyas who are actually Sanskrit words, like I'm doing. I take a Sanskrit word, I know you don't know any meaning, but I try to explain them. This is the meaning, when there are 2, 3 meanings, which meaning we should take and all that. But there is one risk if you don't know the Sanskrit, because then you are totally going by what you are being told. You cannot cross verify whether you are being told correctly or not. Right? That is why what has happened today, many people believe there are 4 paths to moksha. There is a jnana marga, there is a karma marga, there is a bhakti marga, and there is a yoga marga. Well, some acharyas have understood that much, and then they are telling all the people, and people are believing because they don't know, they cannot. They say Bhagavad Gita teaches you 4 paths to moksha. If you know Sanskrit and if you go to an Acharya who is from the Parampara, he will tell you that Bhagavad Gita is based on Upanishads. Upanishads, there is only one marga for moksha. All others which Bhagavad Gita talks about are preparatory for moksha. They don't directly lead to moksha. So if you know Sanskrit, or if you are under the tutelage of an Acharya who has studied Sanskrit and who knows all this, then there is no risk. So if you know Sanskrit, then somebody tells you something also, you will be able to go back to this thing and see, whether this is correct or not. And for all of us, whatever meaning we take, there is only one authority, which is Adi Shankara. All acharyas in the parampara only go by what Adi Shankara says. There have been acharyas before Adi Shankara, they don't follow them. When it comes to even Sanskrit knowledge, everybody goes by the grammar of Panini. Even before Panini, after Panini, so many grammarians have been there, but they are all ignored. Panini is the authority so far as Sanskrit grammar is concerned. So if you study that Sanskrit, then it's a complete this thing. You don't need to, okay, you may not gain that much knowledge of Sanskrit for you to study on your own and then interpret, but enough knowledge of Sanskrit for you to understand and to verify the genuineness when you are told that this is the meaning. You can go and check up whether this is correct or not. Because I have got only that knowledge. When I cannot speak in Sanskrit fluently, and I cannot, study all this Bhashyam directly and understand. No. That much Sanskrit I have learned where, first of all, I can understand what I am being taught. Secondly, if I have a doubt, I know where to look for the clarification. These are the only 2 tools I have got. That's it. That's what my Sanskrit is there. But with that, I'm able to manage, I'm able to teach with the help of all the teachings that I have received. So to answer the question, it is not compulsory, but it's a useful tool if you have some knowledge of Sanskrit. That's it. Yeah.
Second part, Guruji, it's not a this thing. Just I would like to submit to the question raised by Hariji. I would like to relate because it came to my mind that exactly the same question is asked by Arjuna in chapter 2. And then in 3, what is karma? You cannot be a sannyasi, so you have to perform only then because we get. So I just wanted to relate and then reiterate. Am I right or?
Absolutely right.
Okay, thank you.
See, in Bhagavad Gita, what happens? Krishna thinks that by 2nd chapter, Arjuna will become a wise man and he will get into his karma yoga, he will start fighting. That is not happening. Arjuna starts with a question in the 3rd chapter. Oh, Krishna says, oh my God, I have wasted 1 chapter. Let me repeat the whole thing, go into more details. Then again, Arjuna gets more doubts. Then is the further details. End 18th chapter, Arjuna he becomes tired. He says, Arjuna, whatever I had to tell you, I've told you, no, yatechasi tat tat kuru. Whatever you want, you do now. I can't do anything more.
Guruji, I am behind 1 lakh kilometers behind Arjuna, so I'm happy at least some light is there.
So that is okay, no
Dhanyavad.
problem. And don't have anxiety. Oh my God, I'm losing time. I'm become old. Will I get moksha in this life? Don't be anxious. Continue doing what you are doing with a karma yoga attitude. Results will automatically come. That
Thank
is
you.
that
Thank
is
you.
assurance of our Vedas. Okay, Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Question?
Not a question, Guruji. Hari Om, first of all. Thank you for today's class. There was no question per se. Sometimes answers come even without the questions being asked, and that happened in today's class and in the satsang. More a comment really about one's guru and seeing one's guru and being able to see even in their actions how they personify or manifest the teachings gives a great amount of confidence and encouragement for the student.
Yeah.
And so for that, I would like to thank you very much, because your words have, and the teaching, the classes are very strong and strengthened by the fact that your actions are also behind it. And those actions are very pure and very knowledgeable. And so for a student like myself, I feel that what you have taught is also reinforced by how you are. And I know that you have said many times it's also thanks to and because of your teacher. So that Guru Parampara is also very, very important. And so my thanks and my reverence and my namaskarams to you and to all of the gurus of the Parampara that have provided this training and this teaching and this knowledge to be shared in such a pure and limitless way, if I can use that word. The word itself is that it is not being held back by anything. It's not being held by one's ego or one's emotion or one's sense of knowledge. It is purely given. And so as a receiver, I give my reverence and my bhakti to you and to all of the gurus in the Parampara. It's why I don't have other gurus, because when the well is deep, you stay with that well. You don't keep digging in other places and saying from this guru something has happened, and not to discount the teachings of so many knowledgeable people and to thank them for whatever they have shared. But the knowledge that you have shared has also been reinforced by your own actions, and which has given great encouragement to the students that you have taught. So thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you all. So we'll meet next week.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. For the
Thank you,
wonderful-
Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.